Welcome to another edition of Tiger Talk, and joining me once again, SID Emeritus Pete Schlehr. And Pete, when you came to Towson, the basketball team, which is what we're going to focus on today, was a Division II program. And then in the late 70s, 1979, the program moved to Division I. What were your thoughts when that change took place? Because the Tigers had a lot of success in Division II.
Well, there was a great deal of anxiety, I think, because up until our first year in Division I, we had a steady diet of, University of Baltimore, Point Park, Division II schools. Now we go to Division I, and Gotti loaded up on the Division I schools. I mean, we're all over the place. I don't think we played any Division II schools that first year, and I believe. Recall, we had like 16 or 17 away games because we weren't in the conference. And a lot of those, it was the first time a lot of the guys had flown. We were flying all over the place. And that gave us a pretty good, I forget what the record was, but it gave us a pretty good idea that, hey, we need to get better. We need to get bigger. We need to get stronger. We need to get faster.
Well, and it took some time. And then in the late 80s, I remember the team making it to the championship of the East Coast Conference, which the Tigers were fortunate was held at the Towson Center every year. And then Kirk Lee showed up and everything really changed.
Well, it's Dan O'Connell called them the Special Ks. It was Kirk, Kelly Williamson, and Cannell Jones. They all showed up at once. And the three of them, along with a freshman point guard by the name of Devin Boyd, and then another a big guy from Mount St. Joe, Mike Moore, and they kind of formed the nucleus of this thing and got us going. And finally, of course, in 1990, we go to the NCAA tournament. We win the ECC tournament. I think we hosted it for 7 times in the first 5 years. We had to watch Bucknell or Lehigh or Lafayette go, because we could never make the championship. But we beat Lehigh that year, and now we're off to the NCAA tournament. So we kind of put it all together, and we win the ECC championship, and we go to the University of Texas in Austin, and that's where they hosted that region. And now we're going to face Oklahoma. Well, Oklahoma is the top scoring team in the nation. I mean, they're averaging over 100 points a game. And it's our first trip. It's all the way to Texas. We didn't have too many fans. And the Oklahoma people knew this, so they started calling us. And we had a secretary by the name of Pinky Kelball. And Pinky started taking all these calls from Oklahoma fans and Oklahoma media. She became a celebrity in Norman. But anyway, we go to Texas, and we did get some love from the Texas people there, because as you know, Texas and Oklahoma are great rivals. And early on in the game, it's like you expected. They go on top, but in the second half, we just started to put it together. We go on this run, like 25 to 10 or something, and we pulled to within just a couple of points. And then they kind of pulled away in the end and won the thing. But I forget what the score was.
It was a 10-point ball game.
77-68. Kirk had 30 of our points.
Yeah.
I remember it's late in the game, and Kirk has a breakaway, and he's all by himself, and he's dribbling down the court, and he had played every second of the game. And good leaper. So he jumped up to dunk the ball, and it plunked off the back of the rim. But he played a terrific game. He really did.
Hey, hon, I'm gonna order some pizza for the kids.
Or order Subway. We ate foot-long subs all the time growing up.
They ate it so much, Dad opened one up in the shed.
What's in the turkey breast?
Turkey breast.
Interesting. What's in the Italian BMT?
You come here every day.
Good food that's good for you? Well, good for you. Now get a free footlong when you buy 2. And order ahead for quick and easy pickup. Because it's footlong season.
And it's funny that the next year the team gets to the NCAA tournament and plays Ohio State very tough. So back-to-back years, but now, the team hasn't been back since then. Hopefully this year will be a change. But let's talk about some of the exciting games that we've seen through the years. And one that comes to mind was the night that Denny Crum came to the Towson Center, and the Tigers really put a hurting on the Louisville Cardinals. Pete, what I remember from that game is, and probably I don't know that it'll ever happen again, there were people scalping tickets outside of the Towson Center.
Yeah, we had a nice crowd that night. But that game came about because Terry Truax, who I think knew everybody in college basketball, but he would bump into Denny Crum, and they became pretty good buddies. And Terry would always say, "Look, I want to play. I want to play you." There was something happened to Louisville's schedule. They lost a game. They didn't have the complement of regular season games that you could have. So Crum calls Terry, and Terry says, "Yeah, we'll play you, And we just had to go back to Freedom Hall twice. We got stomped there the 2 times. But I think Louisville came in and they didn't take us very seriously. And they had a little bit at halftime, but in the second half we poured it on. Now there were 2 things that I think they didn't realize about Towson. We were small, but we were very, very quick, and we were a great free throw shooting team. We were ranked 5th in the country in free throw shooting. So in the second half, we forced 20 turnovers. We shoot 60% from the floor. We shoot 19 of 22 from the free throw line. And this kid, LeBron Robinson. He comes off the bench and has the game of his life. And he scores 20 points. And then, of course, we have Ralph Blaylock, who I think athletically was one of the most athletic basketball players we ever had. And Ralph had something like 20 points.
And Ralph had earlier that year hit a game-winning 3 to beat West Virginia in Shepherd College.
Yeah. Gale, what was his name?
Gatlin.
Gatlin. The head coach at West Virginia. Well, he was a Shepherd graduate, and they were going to have a homecoming game for him. And I was kind of familiar with Shepherd because I went there my first semester in college and then transferred out. I went there to play football. Didn't work out. But anyway, we hung with West Virginia the whole game, and Blaylock hits a walk-off 3-pointer, and we beat them 78 to 75 or something, and spoiled Gatlin's homecoming. So that was a great game.
It sure was. And then in the mid 2000s, as we wind down, a guy we got to talk about, Gary Neal, maybe the greatest shooter to ever play at Towson, certainly.
Well, he was. He could score. He finished his senior year. He finished 5th in the country in average. You know who finished 4th? Come on, sir.
Tell me. You're going to tell me.
Yeah. Kevin Durant, a freshman
in
Texas. The following year, guess who comes to Towson from Butler Community College?
Kevin Durant's brother.
Tony Durant. That's right. Now you're with us. So, Gary was exceptional, and he had he was undrafted, so he goes over and he plays in Europe for 3 years, and then he went into that summer league, the NBA summer league, and caught the eye of the Spurs. And, they took him on. He had, I guess, 4 or 5 years with the Spurs, and then he played here and there. And his NBA season, he had 6 years in the NBA.
Yeah, and now he's back with the Tigers on the bench, and just a great guy.
Yep. Is he coming back this year?
I believe so.
Yeah, great. Yeah, he's one of the most mature young college men, the basketball players in college at Towson that I ever came across. He was just an exceptional guy, really.
All right, people, that ends our trilogy here of your 3rd trip here to Tiger Talk. We appreciate it.
Okay, well, we'll have to do it again when you come up with something.
We will.